Okay, kneeling hip extension, pails and rails here. I've got two different setups. So one, I'm using a block right here for the actual weight that we're going to be needing to drive against. So the actual setup we're going to do, no matter which option you choose to take, is kneeling down here, one leg up, and the biggest key here to target the hip flexor and really get into the hip and not just do quad is to take the pelvis and tilt it upwards. So I'm going to squeeze my ribs down a little bit, try to tilt the pelvis up and find that stretch in the front side of the hip. You've probably seen people like really excessively stretch this way before, and a lot of times what happens is their low back simply extends to get them in that position. I want to take you completely out of that position to the point where my shoulder is almost directly over top of my knee here. The only way I get a deeper stretch is by tilting that pelvis upward. I have a weight here in front of my knee. I can also, put it in front of a box right here to drive against and then hold on to the box to make sure it doesn't slide. What we're going to be doing, the actual PAILS motion, the PAILS of this position is simply driving the knee down and forward. So in my head, I'm trying to think about driving this 70-pound weight forward with my hip. It helps to have something to hold on to really increase the irradiation, the tension in that motion. But I'm really trying to squeeze this front part of the hip during the PAILS. During my rails, completely opposite. Backside glute tries to both tilt the pelvis up and maybe get a little bit deeper into hip extension by leaning forward. The key is, if you are leaning forward, I would recommend only waiting to do that after you get really good at the movement and then not arching the low back, just lean the body forward there as best as possible. Make sure this is where you feel it. It's going to feel a little awkward at first. You're probably going to feel like, okay, I'm doing both at the same time. Just work on it and try to get as much as you can out of the front side and the push for the PAILS and then back side for the rails.